Hey everybody, happy week of holidays. I hope you all are having a lovely time, hopefully spending with your family and friends, eating lots of yummy food, comforting food, enjoying your time off. I hope you have at least a little bit off. Enjoying your rides. They're always fun around this time of year. So I wanted to talk about inspiration today. Ashley asked a great question, one of my previous Cycle Circle champions. Great question about inspiration and how to, let me use your words, Ashley. What did you say? Motivate and inspire your members and students. I don't know if it's just experience or they have someone write it for them, but lately I'm feeling like I'm just not motivating and inspiring like I should be. So, really good resolution for next year, by the way, to work on this. So there's a lot of different ways, and it's going to be different for everyone. I have found that certain things work for me and certain things don't. So I'll let you know what I do. And a lot of people have already chimed in the comments of your post saying what they do, which is very helpful. So thank you, Crewbies. But it is tricky, and there are definitely going to be times where you're not feeling inspirational, motivational. It comes and it goes. So what really helps me is finding it through a different channel. So when I need motivation and inspiration, where do I go? What do I feel? And what things kind of trigger me to get, ready to ride and excited about, it doesn't even have to be riding, but just motivating you in other ways. And how can I translate them into my class? Hey, Elena. So first, I'll give you, in no particular order, I'm going to give you a few things that I use. So music. You find a really motivating, inspirational song, something that when you ride to by yourself, you feel something, right? Like you feel powerful, you feel strong. Maybe you let your emotion out on the bike, whatever it is that you're feeling when you hear the song. That's what you translate and you explain to your riders. So there doesn't have to be a lot of this, by the way, sprinkled throughout class. I have been to classes where it feels forced, even if it's genuine, because the entire class is just kind of motivational speak, if you will. You still want to keep all your regular cues. You want to give them the workout that they came for. And then once in a while, you just sprinkle in something motivational. And it doesn't need to be crazy. It could be one line of something motivational, that even like a quote that just seems to fit in perfectly, things like that. So music is one big one for me. I'll usually do, most of my playlists are going to be high energy, but maybe I'll do like a slower, heavier hill. And that's where I have the music's a little bit lower, so I can talk to them a little bit more. And maybe that's where I sprinkle in some motivation, especially when they're grinding and it's heavy and they're really digging deep. It's a good time to put that in there because they're listening and they can hear you. When they're, sprinting or pushing really, really hard, they're not going to hear anything you say anyways. So music is big. Reading and watching movies. I know you like a lot of good music, but movies and reading, I find a lot of inspiration, especially reading. So I read a lot of personal development books. I know it sounds corny. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there now. People make it really interesting. It's a lot of psychology, and just I really encourage people to read that sort of stuff. The 4 Agreements is a really short, really powerful book. Highly recommend it. I guarantee you will find something in that book that you can pull and use as motivation when you're talking to your students. 4 Agreements. I'll link it. Remind me. I'll put it in the comments. I have an entire library of stuff up there, so if you need more book recommendations, let me know. Books are huge. You underline, highlight something that sticks with you when you read it, and then you just remember that thing and you bring it with you to class. Sometimes it's just like a couple words that like hit you a certain way, or one line or something like that. It doesn't have to be crazy. It just has to stir it in you so that you can share it with other people. So music, movies, reading, going to other people's classes and hearing the quotes that they say, the cues that they say that are motivational. We can share. Sharing is caring. If you hear something really powerful and you think you can say it authentically because you felt it, there you go. There's one for you now. So it doesn't have to be a cycling class, by the way. So I went to a yoga class the other day. Yoga is usually very insightful while you're doing your moves, you're thinking about how it connects to your body and your mind and your spirit. So there's a lot of cueing in there that's really powerful. So yoga class, maybe trying something like that. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. It's definitely not mine, but I make myself do it anyways so that I can learn. So going to another class, any kind of modality, anything like that. Listening to podcasts that are a little bit more like self-help podcasts or motivational podcasts. All the world of self-help and personal development is what's going to get you to that deeper motivation. So it's becoming more mainstream, which I love. Self-help books kind of used to have a stigma around them that it was, it's weird. There weren't a lot of them. They were very specific to a certain genre, but it's everywhere now because our generation is focused on bettering ourselves mentally and physically. So finding something that sings to you in terms of that sort of self-help stuff, whether it's, like I said, yoga, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, whatever it is, those are the things that are going to pull that deep motivation and inspiration out of you. And that's what you're going to be able to share. But it is hard to get to it and to find it and to get to a place where you're able to not just feel it, but portray it and say it in your class in a way that's authentic. So don't stress about it. I think a lot of people don't need that in your classes. There are a lot of people who don't want that, honestly, especially if you can't do it authentically. So don't freak out about it. If you're able to get to a point where you want to try a few things, you want to say a few things and see how they go over, great. But I'm sure your classes are great without it, so I wouldn't stress about it. I bet you're saying some motivational phrases that you don't really realize are motivational. So don't stress about it too much. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to give, a monologue in the middle of class about something super powerful. The only other thing I'll say is on Instagram, you can follow other instructors who maybe post video. A lot of instructors post videos of themselves giving these kind of motivational speeches in the middle of class. I don't recommend going that intense right away, but it might be helpful for you. Or following Instagram accounts that post, I'm a huge quote person. You guys know that I post a quote in here once a week, something that I find powerful. So maybe just going in here, Ashley, and going to photos and like scrolling through some of the old quotes that I've dropped in here. All of those are things that have inspired me in one way or another, and I shared them with you, and I probably brought them to my class too. So finding something that when you read it, you're like, wow, yeah. And then you share that in your own words, in your own way. That's how it can be authentic and powerful. So that was a lot. Hopefully one of those things helps you. It is a very difficult thing to find that motivational speak and inspiration and be able to deliver it in a powerful way. Practice is everything, and just being like true to yourself and not feeling like I used to tell myself, yeah, I'm going to sound weird sometimes. I'm going to sound strange when I'm up on that bike, but if what I'm saying I believe and I think it's worth sharing, then I'm, you're confident when you do it and you deliver it. And if it doesn't go well, you don't do it again, right? So just give it a shot. Try something that feels good to you. Share something, even if it's small, and see how it goes over. And let us know. Let me know in the comments. And if you guys have other suggestions for Ashley, I'm sure there's plenty of people in this group with the same question. Please feel free to share in the comments. Always looking for ways to dig our inspiration up. So sharing is caring, guys. Post them in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Have a great new year. I won't talk to you until afterwards. So be safe, please. And I'll talk to you all soon. All right, bye, guys.